Hello and welcome to the Park Life Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm a travel planner that specializes in all things Disney, Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise, and Disney Alani. This is episode 40 of our Park Life Podcast. And today we're going to dive into what you should pack in your park bag for a day at the park. Now, I'm sure at the end of my list, there may be things that you have on your mind that maybe you pack. And so I would love to have comments from you on things that maybe you pack that I didn't mention. I'd also love to hear from you if there are things that I mentioned that you do pack, how they work out for you, and so forth. So let's dive right in. I guess the first thing you have to have is a bag to take to the park, right? A lot of different options. I'm going to show you just a couple. First, my friend up there on the shelf, my Mickey Snowman Loungefly that is great for the holiday season. If you're a little more traditional, here's another Loungefly, Winnie the Pooh, always a favorite. Love Winnie. I'm going to set him right here because I've got something else attached to him that I'll bring up in just a little bit. You could also do something as simple as a drawstring bag. And this is something that I typically do quite often, is just to take one of these. It's waterproof. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's waterproof. So when it rains, anything inside doesn't get wet, which is great. It's lightweight. The only thing I would caution these rope cords, I learned this the very first time I ever took this. Like day two, I woke up in the morning, my shoulder hurt. And I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized it was because of these cords kind of rubbing into my shoulder. So something to think about if you're using a drawstring bag like this. Obviously, you can do a regular backpack, regular travel bag, things like that. Whatever works out best for you that you're comfortable with, that is versatile and easy to get things in and out of. I don't want you to be struggling pulling things out and things are flying all over the ground and what have you. So um, be cognizant of that. And I guess what I'd tell you is, this sounds maybe silly, but practice at home. Identify a bag you think you want to take, whether it's one of these lounge flies or the Sitch bag. Load it up with stuff and take a walk in your neighborhood, or just around your house, and then stop and say, okay, I need to get item X out of the bag and see how that goes. You want to be comfortable, and you want it to be convenient for sure. So obviously, we start with the park bag. Now, I have a list here. I'm going to check things off as we go. I should say, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you're obviously missing out on the show and tell portion. You can always re listen to this on YouTube, and I'll talk about where we find those locations a little bit later on here. The next thing on my list is make sure you have your Magic Band. Obviously, I have one right here. So we have ours from previous trips that we always bring with us. If you do the same, make sure you have it with you when you travel. And then obviously, when you get ready to leave for the park, either have it in your bag, have it on your wrist, or have it on your person somewhere so that when you get to the park, you're all set with that. Gonna toss things aside as we go. So that's a Magic Band. The other thing, if you checked in your resort and asked for them, for instance, this is a first visit pin that we got for our son on his first visit eons ago. Make sure you have these with you. Pin them onto your shirt, or at least put them in your bag, so that you've got them to wear proudly when you're at the park. In no particular order, actually, I'm going to go outside of the order on my piece of paper here and show things. One of the items, let me get this unclipped off of the bag, on my list is a collapsible refillable drink mug. So if I screw this top here, I'll show you this one expands. So you can expand it up, fill it up with ice water or soda, whatever it is you want to put in here, and then put your lid back on. The thing I love about this one is after I screw this on, I then have a unscrewing top that I can pop open, I drink out of, and then I can screw the lid back on. That way, if I haven't finished everything in here, it's well sealed. And then once I'm done with uh, the drink, I can collapse it right back up, screw this back on, and clip it right back onto my Loungefly or onto my cinch bag or whatever kind of bag you have. The Disney parks offer free ice water at most of their quick service stand locations. So you can take these collapsible mugs like I just showed you. get a couple of glasses of ice water. It's usually smaller cups, but two of those will fit into one of these collapsible mugs or collapsible drink mugs, and you're set to go. So that's something that I always recommend is the refillable water bottle. And I love the collapsible portion of this because it takes up less space. It's super lightweight. Once it's empty, I can clip it on the outside of my bag, so I'm not taking up valuable space on the inside of the bag. The next thing that I recommend is something like these, and I'm showing a hydration boost drink packet. It's hot at Disney. It's humid there. You will work towards dehydration if you're not careful. So, for me, I love to get the ice water filled into my collapsible mug, and then put one of these drink packets in, close it, shake it up, and I'm good to go. I'm drinking something like lemonade or strawberry, orange, or raspberry flavor. Now, I will say these um, hydration boost packets are a little bit more expensive. So I don't do these exclusively throughout my park day just because they add up. I will buy a cheaper drink mix of like lemonade or strawberry watermelon or something like that. Maybe I'll have two of these a day and two or three of the others throughout the day. I cannot overemphasize how important it is to stay hydrated at the parks. Depending upon where you're coming from in the country, humidity might not be anything like what it is in Florida. So it's incredibly important to stay hydrated. The last thing you want to do is have to spend any time at a local hospital having them rehydrate you through an IV. So please rehydrate, take advantage of the free ice water. I know a lot of people say that the water tastes a little funny there. Another reason why I like to bring the drink packets with me so that I get the chance to taste something other than just water. Next up, make sure you bring sunscreen. Talked about the humidity and the heat. The sun is hot down there and it will do a number on you. The last thing you want to do is end your first park day, go back to your resort, and the next morning when you wake up and get in the shower, and I'm a perfect candidate for this, have the top of my head scorched, my forehead scorched, my shoulders, my arms scorched from sun, and have it just burn in the shower, and then you start that process all over again. So sunscreen is incredibly important to bring with you into the parks. You can get the little either spray or the little roll-ons, kind of like deodorant roll-ons. Those are great, or obviously the squeeze tubes work as well. Since I just called out my head, bringing a hat of some type is really important to have with you in the parks. Ball cap, sun cap, a bucket hat, whatever it is that you're comfortable with, bring it with you so that in the heat of the day, when you're out in the sun for long periods of time, you can protect your dome. I learned the hard way my first time down there that that next morning in the shower, my scalp burnt pretty hard. So important to have that. Next on my list, again, just random stuff here that I think of. If you're going to see characters at all, and this is one that my wife made. You can obviously make these, you can buy them. They have autograph books in the parks, they have them in your resort guest shops. Bring your autograph supplies. So, this is a say fairly simple, she worked her tail off to make this book. That what we'll do is have the character sign on one page, and then the picture we take with the character goes on the next page right next to it. It's a great keepsake. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's a wonderful, wonderful souvenir that you'll have for the rest of your life. We have probably a dozen or more of these from our kids' trips over the years. And every once in a while, we like to go through them, just kind of reminisce back when our 30-year-old son now was, 5 or 6 and seeing Mickey Mouse and getting his autograph. So having your autograph supplies with you is valuable. Now, I will tell you, I threw that down out of my way, but put it in a Ziploc bag so that it's protected in case it does rain at all. You want to make sure that valuables like that are very well protected. So a Ziploc bag is important um, to protect it throughout your stay at your parks. All right, so we talked about sunscreen, talked about the hat, and I'm pointing at my glasses. I wear regular bifocals, but bring your sunglasses. Protect your eyes throughout your park day. Now, if you're wearing a ball cap and you've got a brim, that might help with sunglasses. And you may or may not need to bring sunglasses, but if you're a sunglass wearer, don't forget them for sure. Um, If you are a Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse ear wearing guest, make sure you bring your Disney ears with you to wear in the parks if you're not already wearing them on your head at the point in time that you leave your resort. Next on my list, depending on what time you go in the year, November, December, January, February, there will be cool stretches. It could be chilly throughout an entire park day, or maybe just in the evenings or early mornings. So having extra layers with you, or maybe a light jacket with you, is something that you want to remember to bring along with you. The next thing I'm going to show is probably something if you've never seen it before, you're like, I don't know what that is. This is a unused, still sealed rain poncho. It rains at Disney. It may rain every day you're there. It may rain 2 or 3 days you're there. It may rain for 10 minutes. It's very scattered in nature, but having rain ponchos with you when it does decide to rain is incredibly important, and you'll thank yourself later. If you don't bring them with you, you can buy one in the park, but you're going to pay a lot of money. I think the ponchos in the park probably range close to $20 a piece. Now they do have Mickey Mouse or something Disney on them. One that I just tossed down, we go to Dollar Tree or Dollar General, one of those shops, and probably buy them for about a buck or $1.50, I think, a piece. So nice to have several of them with you. These, you get what you get, right? They may not last more than a day in the park, so having extras is valuable. Also bring a Ziploc bag, the gallon size Ziploc bag, so that when it stops raining, you take those off, kind of shake them out a little bit, stuff them in that Ziploc bag, zip it shut, put it back in your bag. You're not getting anything else inside your bag wet for the day. So important to do that. So ponchos, and I already mentioned Ziploc bags, very valuable. Let's see, what else do I have on my list here? Band-aids. Trust me, band-aids and my next item will be something important. Band-aids could be for a blister on your foot. Could be that you scratched yourself walking through a line and caught your arm on something. A whole host of different reasons why you might need a band-aid, but have some band-aids with you. These are flexible fabric band-aids that we purchased. So good to have those with you. And I guess I would say along with that is maybe just a general small first aid kit. Doesn't have to be much bigger than this box here that has band-aids, maybe some Neosporin or some type of ointment with it, possibly um, some ibuprofen or that sort of, injury type medication that you might want to have with you. This next thing, I'd never heard of this until about 2 years ago when my wife brought it with us. Again, if you're watching on Spotify or listening on Spotify, I'm holding up a package that is called Moleskin padding. We bought this for our next trip. It is the best way I can describe it. It's almost like felt with a sticky side. You cut it to size that you need, peel off the back, and stick it to an area, usually on your feet. And for me, I know where my shoes rub on my feet when I go out for walks. So I have a pretty good idea of where I'm going to need this when I get to the parks. So I can cut it into a strip the size that I need, peel it off, put it on my foot, wherever my shoe might rub. And I have zero problems with blisters on my feet. Moleskin is a game changer, in my opinion. Um, I highly recommend bringing either a small thing of hand sanitizer or hand sanitizing wet wipes with you. Disney does a great job in their lines for the rides, having interactive things for the kids to keep them preoccupied, keep their minds active, so that the wait in line is a little bit easier for everybody to manage. I think of the Winnie the Pooh ride at Magic Kingdom, a lot of touch and feel things, which are great, but they also attract a lot of germs. So being able to clean your hands off with sanitizer or wet wipes in between, hand washings when you go to the restroom is a great thing to have with you. Likewise, small travel size packet of Kleenex is always handy. Inevitably, somebody's nose is going to run at some point in time, and they may need to blow their nose. So having Kleenex handy is always a good idea. If you're traveling with little ones, which we will be on our next trip, something that I recommend is something like this, and this is a packet of it's a glow set. These are basically what's called make your own glow connections or creations. So these are glow sticks that I will be able to connect end to end and make them as long as we want or whatever. These are the kind where I think you just kind of bend them, snap them, shake them, and then they glow at night. So glow sticks. Great thing for little ones to keep, again, them preoccupied. If you're standing around waiting for a half hour for the fireworks, or this summer when the new nighttime parade at Magic Kingdom starts up, having something like that is inexpensive and allows your kids to have some fun along the evening while they're waiting for the evening event. If you're bringing babies with you, you want to make sure that you have diapers. Well, at this point, you're probably bringing a diaper bag and not just your park bag, but make sure you've got plenty of diapers, wet wipes, bottles, pacifiers, maybe a blanket that your little one likes, any kind of baby toys that they might need to help keep them preoccupied and happy. If they're advancing past the bottle stage, make sure you have sippy cups for them to drink whatever beverages. Obviously, you want a stroller. Um, Strollers are varying options. You can rent one inside the park and have a stroller inside the park, but the stroller stays inside the park. You can't then wheel it out to the bus or to the ferry or to the monorail. You can rent strollers from third party companies in the Orlando area. That would allow you to have the stroller the entire time inside and outside of the parks from the time you arrive to the time you depart. Or you can bring your own. For us personally, we've always brought our own, and my mindset is twofold there. First off, my child knows that stroller, they're comfortable with it, and which allows them to maybe nap. Whereas if it's a new stroller that they're not comfortable with, they're not sure of, they might be on edge and may not sleep. The second thing is we fly there. There are very few direct flights from Omaha to Orlando, so we're typically flying to another destination and then to Orlando. We're spending quite a bit of time inside of airports. Hour and a half, 2 hours in the Omaha airport from the time we arrive to the time we depart, an hour or more layover in the next airport. So having your stroller with you allows your child to get in and you're pushing them through the airport as opposed to having to hold their hand while you're also dragging luggage along with you. And then as I said early on, it rains. So bring some type of cover for your stroller. You may be able to purchase one online through the company that stroller is manufactured by, or you can search online for stroller covers. You can go as simple as just having an extra poncho to throw over top of the stroller when it rains so that your child stays dry and or anything that you have inside that stroller stays dry. Good things to have. Um, Possibly you might want to bring a blanket. And when I say blanket, I'm not talking about for your baby now. I'm just talking about back to my park bag in general. I'm not necessarily talking about bringing a blanket to keep you warm, but a very thin, lightweight, waterproof blanket so that when you're going to sit down on the curb to watch the parade, or if you find a seated location to watch the fireworks, if it's rained at all, ground is damp at all, laying that thin waterproof blanket down to sit on first allows your clothes to stay dry and clean. So something you might want to consider. I talked about the drink packets early on. Snacks are a great thing to have, whether you're 2 years old or 20 years old or 80 years old. Everybody loves to snack. You can save money by bringing your own snacks. You can bring your own food into the parks. Disney does not prevent that. So something like little packets of fruit snacks. My grandson will love these when we're at Disney next month. So having some type of snacks with you is great when you're getting hungry and you're in line for a ride and you really can't leave the line. It also helps save you money by bringing your own snacks with you. The next thing on my list is an absolute must. Well, I shouldn't say must. If you plan on taking a lot of photos on your phone, maybe video on your phone, obviously you're going to be utilizing the My Disney Experience app on your phone for different reasons. Your phone battery is going to take a beating. So bringing a portable charger of any type, whether it's a fuel rod or some type of charging brick that you utilize at home, whatever you're most comfortable with, make sure you have that in your park bag and also make sure you bring the cords that go with it so that you can actually charge your phone. Very important. I mentioned the fuel rods. Fuel rod is something you can buy them online on Amazon. You can go to Fuel Rod's website. Disney has kiosks throughout their parks so that when your fuel rod, and it's about, if I had to guess, 2.5 inches long, it's maybe an inch in diameter at most. When that fuel rod um, burns out, its battery is dead. You can take it back to your resort and recharge it, but you can go to the kiosk and insert your exhausted battery, and you'll get a fully charged, replenished battery, basically a swap at no cost. So you're buying the fuel rods themselves. When you buy them on Amazon or what have you, it comes with the various cords that you need to be able to connect to your phone, depending on what type of phone you have and the adapters. They provide all of that. And then you can just swap out those fuel rod batteries at the parks at no cost. Great option at Disney World. And I myself, I have three, and it's great to have. Do I need three all day long? Absolutely not, especially when I can swap them in the kiosks. But when I'm traveling with my family and my parents, inevitably somebody's going to be looking for a charger. And if I've got three of them and I'm using one, I've got two spares. It's a great thing for everybody to have something like that. I'm sure I mentioned this early on. It rains at Disney. So, depending on what your footwear looks like, obviously, if you're wearing Crocs or sandals or flip flops, it's not as big of a deal if it rains. But if you're like me, I'm a tennis shoe wearing kind of guy. So, having dry socks is a must throughout your park day. Last thing you want is a downpour at 10 a.m. Your shoes are wet, your socks are wet, and you've got 8 to 10 more hours in the park. Your feet are going to take a beating if you walk around in wet socks throughout the rest of your day. So bring a pair of dry socks, put them in their own Ziploc bag so they stay dry. And then when you have to swap out, you can put your wet socks in that Ziploc bag, keeping everything else in your bag nice and dry. Next on my list, here it is. Um, Cooling towels. I bought these at a local discount store for like a buck, buck and a half. Um, Great option in the summer when it's hot. Get these wet, wrap them around your neck, help cool you off a little bit, put it over your head if you need to, whatever it may be. Get one of the free things of ice water and pour that on the rag and then wrap it around you. And then with this, it's nice because I can then just reuse this plastic case to put it in when I'm done, put the lid back on. I can snap it onto my bag or put it inside the bag. And then later in the day, when I'm hot again, I can take it right back out, get water on it, and cool myself off. Simple way to try to help keep yourself cool and relatively inexpensive. If you want to go one step up from that, you can do something like these. I'm guessing these have not been charged in a while, so they probably won't turn on if I try, but let's see what happens. Yeah, they're dead. Neck fan. So I can take and wrap this around my neck. There's two little fans. I can move them, pivot them, whatever. This particular set that I have also has a little light on it, and there's varying speeds on the fan itself, and it's rechargeable. It does not take batteries. There's a little recharging port somewhere in here. Right there it is, right there. Little charging port. I can plug it in with my phone charger, my fuel rod, whatever, in the park. Charge it up while it's in the bag, and then take it out, put it on for a little while, cool yourself off. It's kind of a nice way to just feel a little bit better throughout the hot park days. Got a couple things left on my list. This here is what's called Body Glide. It's not really deodorant, but it helps areas of your skin where they're rubbing and it helps to prevent chafing. The last thing you want is, for instance, your legs, um, your shorts get damp or whatever, or your jeans, whatever you're wearing, and your legs start to rub and that gets raw. Your next park day is going to be miserable. So something like this Body Glide is a great option to have, relatively inexpensive and small. It was a little bitty tiny container. It looks just like deodorant. Take the top off, just rub it on your skin, and you're good to go. And that takes me down to my last item, which is deodorant. Um, I'm not by any means saying that you smell bad, so don't take it as such. But it's hot. We are all sweating there. So being able to have a small thing of deodorant, pop in the bathroom, put some on, it helps recharge your own, human body battery, so to speak. Makes you feel fresher, and everybody around you will appreciate it. Let's see my list here. I think I nailed just about everything on my list. So we are in pretty good shape. So you can see I have listed about 20 different things. If it's a solo trip, you may not be able to fit all 20 things in your bag. So you'll have to decide what's most important to you. You may not need some of those items that I listed. If you're going with a family and you've got 2 or 3 backpacks going into the park, there should be plenty of room for all of those items for your family. So I think that's it for my what to bring in your park bag. I would love to hear from you. Are there things that you packed that I didn't mention? Are there things that I mentioned that you never thought of? Are there things that I mentioned that you have used? How they benefited you? So shoot me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. But this puts us to the end of episode 40 of the Park Life Podcast. If you're new here, this is the Park Life Podcast YouTube channel or the Park Life Podcast Spotify channel, depending on where you're listening to me from right now. I do these podcasts every Monday, usually drop them Monday mornings early around 5 a.m. Eastern. So if you're driving to work, taking the kids to school, you can always give me a listen while you're doing that. In addition, we do a live Park Life every Wednesday evening on the YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I answer questions, we talk about different Disney topics, and then we do a little fun stuff at the end. I have questions to ask all of you, or we play some different games for some fun interaction. Love to have you join us on either one of those locations. If you want to get in touch with me directly, you can find me on TikTok, on Instagram, and my personal channel on YouTube at Mike_Disney Travel, or you can find me on Facebook at Mike's Magical World Vacations. As I said at the beginning, I'm a travel agent, love to work with guests on planning their vacations, helping make magic, helping save money, and make memories. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. As I always like to say, I hope you have a great day today and an even better day tomorrow. And when you wake up tomorrow, remind yourself it's a great day to be alive. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.